Welcome to this edition of Literary Reviews. My name is Konstantin Smith. Today we are going to discuss the novel War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. The story is set against the backdrop of Napoleon's wars with Russia between 1805 and 1812. It is an epic masterpiece that intertwines the sprawling historical drama of war with the detailed philosophical exploration of peace and domestic life. The story follows the fortunes of three aristocratic families: the Bezukhovs, the Bolkonskis, and the Rostovs, whose lives become inextricably linked by fate, ambition, and love. Part 1. 1805 and the central characters. The novel opens in 1805 Moscow, introducing the three central figures who represent different approaches to life. Pierre Bezukhov, the illegitimate, socially awkward son of a wealthy count, is suddenly made the master of a vast fortune. Naive and philosophical, Pierre seeks meaning in life and is easily manipulated into an unhappy marriage with the beautiful, immoral Hélène Kuragina. He later joins the Freemasons in a quest for moral improvement, but remains deeply unfulfilled. Next is Prince Andrei Bolkonsky, is an intelligent, ambitious, and deeply cynical young nobleman, married to the beautiful but shallow Lise. Disgusted with the superficiality of high society, he seeks true glory by becoming an aide-de-camp to Field Marshal Kutuzov, believing military life holds the key to personal significance. And lastly, the Rostovs are introduced as a warm, chaotic, and patriotic family focused on pleasure and genuine affection. The key members are the high-spirited and beautiful Natasha Rostov, who embodies pure, youthful vitality, and her older brother, Nikolai Rostov, who joins the army out of patriotic fervor and finds himself disillusioned by the brutalities and mundane realities of military life. Part 2. Austerlitz and Disillusionment. The first major engagement is the disastrous Battle of Austerlitz in 1805. Andrei is severely wounded while leading his troops. Lying bleeding on the battlefield, he has a profound epiphany as he gazes at what is described as the high, eternal sky. He realizes the futility of his ambition and the vanity of Napoleon, whom he had idolized. He is presumed dead, but returns home just as his wife, Lise, dies in childbirth. Disgusted with war, Andrei retreats to his estate to focus on managing his family's affairs. Nikolai, having experienced the fear and chaos of battle, returns home deeply in debt from gambling but gains maturity through his hardship. Part 3. Love, betrayal, and the search for meaning. During a period of peace, the lives of the characters intertwine further. Pierre, now an active Freemason, attempts to free his serfs but fails to apply his ideals effectively. He remains adrift, constantly searching for an external system to provide answers.
Sorry, brah. No deal.
Oh well. I'm sure they'll get over it. How much are these board shorts?
Andrei, while working on governmental reforms in St. Petersburg, meets Natasha Rostov, now blossoming into a young woman. Her vibrancy reawakens his zest for life, and they fall in love and become engaged. However, Andrei's traditional stern father demands a year's separation before the marriage.
I suspect your father is hoping one of us will change our minds in a year. If we must wait, then we must. You know, I will never change my mind.
During Andrei's absence, Natasha, emotionally vulnerable, is briefly seduced by the rake Anatoly Kuragin. When the affair is exposed, Andrei bitterly rejects Natasha, and she falls into deep despair.
Bay, you're the only one for me. I can wait, no problem. You know, I will never change my mind.
Part 4. The invasion of 1812 and Borodino. The historical narrative explodes with Napoleon's invasion of Russia in 1812. Russia adopts a policy of scorched earth and strategic retreat. The Battle of Borodino is the climactic confrontation. Both Pierre and Andrei are present. Andrei, now a regimental commander, seeks only to serve his country. He is mortally wounded and, in the throes of fever, is placed in the care of the Rostov family as they evacuate Moscow.
I must pee. When do we stop for a break?
Just hold it!
I hear that's not healthy for one's bladder. You must void it when necessary.
Andrei discovers that Anatoly Kuragin is in the same convoy, also wounded, and, seeing his enemy suffer, Andrei finds a profound capacity for forgiveness and love. Pierre witnesses the carnage of Borodino firsthand. He later enters the abandoned, burning Moscow, determined to commit a symbolic act by assassinating Napoleon. But he is captured by the French and becomes a prisoner of war.
I should have killed that little Frenchman when I had the chance.
Part 5. Rebirth and Conclusion. Andrei spends his final weeks in the care of Princess Maria Bolkonskaya and Natasha Rostov. Natasha nurses him, and they reconcile completely, realizing the spiritual nature of their love before Andrei peacefully dies.
Andre, you know I always loved you. We could have had a beautiful life. It hurts me to see you pass. Oh well.
Pierre's time as a prisoner fundamentally changes him. He meets Platon Karataev, a simple religious peasant whose resilience and contentment with the simple facts of life teaches Pierre the true meaning of faith, freedom, and happiness.
Pierre, you have complained for 20 minutes about how the French soldier stole the puka shell necklace you just bought. We must be willing to accept misfortune. You've heard the saying, the beggar's bowl or the prison hole, you have to take what comes. Hardship is simply part of life. Nothing in this world is terrible, as there is no condition in which man can be happy and entirely free. So there is no condition in which he need be unhappy and lack freedom. Anyway, the puka shell necklace made you look gay.
Pierre is finally released during the devastating French retreat, stripped of his wealth and possessions, but spiritually reborn. In the epilogue, 8 years later, the principal survivors find domestic tranquility. Nikolai Rostov, having served bravely, marries Princess Maria Bolkonskaya, saving the Rostov family from ruin and finding quiet, familial contentment on the estate. Finally, Pierre, no longer married, marries Natasha. Their relationship is characterized by domestic stability, mutual support, and philosophical conversation, combining the vivacity of Natasha with the newfound spiritual depths of Pierre. The novel concludes by contrasting the complex, philosophical discussions of their marriage with the unstoppable, chaotic forces of history that still surround them. Thank you for joining us with this edition of Literary Reviews.